Now, we proceed with domain Eukarya, kingdom fungi. First of all, we discuss about the learning outcomes. There are 3 learning outcomes for this kingdom. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to state the unique characteristic of fungi, state the classification of fungi phyla based on the spore-bearing structure for 3 phyla of fungi. First, Zygomycota. Second, Ascomycota. Third, Basidiomycota. For the third learning outcomes, there are 5 importance of fungi such as decomposer, symbiont, pathogen, commercial importance in food production, and pharmaceutical. Firstly, we discuss about the unique characteristic of fungi. All fungi are eukaryote. All fungi are heterotroph. Heterotroph is an organism that cannot produce its own food, instead taking nutrition from other sources of organic carbon. All fungi are non-photosynthetic organisms because fungi lack of chlorophyll. Almost all fungi are multicellular except yeast, which is unicellular. Cell wall is made up of chitin. Fungi stores carbohydrate as glycogen. It can reproduce sexually and asexually. Reproduction mostly via spores that germinate into mycelia. Reproduction for yeast is budding. The body of fungi is called thallus, which is the root, stem, and leaf cannot differentiate. The bodies of all fungi are filamentous except unicellular fungi. Bodies are constructed from basic building units called hyphae. Hyphae branch profusely, forming network called mycelium. Some fungi have hyphae divided into cellular compartments by walls called septa. Hyphae with septa is known as septic hyphae, and hyphae with lack septa is known as aseptic or choanocytic hyphae. Some mutualistic and parasitic fungi grow specialized hyphae called haustoria. Haustoria used to extract nutrients from or exchange nutrients with their plant hosts. The example for haustoria is the relationship between fungi and plant roots that called mycorrhizae. There are 3 types of mode of nutrition. First is saprophytic fungi that secrete hydrolytic enzyme into their surroundings and absorb nutrients from non-living organisms. Second is parasitic fungi that absorb nutrients from the cell of living hosts. And last one is mutualistic fungi that absorb nutrients from a host organism, but they reciprocate with action that benefits the host. So, this slide shows the reproductive structure, spore-bearing structure, hyphae, and mycelium of the fungi. Next, we proceed to classification of fungi phyla based on the spore-bearing structure. First, phylum Zygomycota with the example of Rhizopus species. Second is phylum Ascomycota, also known as sac fungi. An example is Penicillium species. And last is phylum Basidiomycota, that also known as club fungi. An example is Agaricus species. We discuss the phylum of fungi one by one. Rhizopus species is known as zygomycetes. The black bread mole Rhizopus stolonifer is commonly used as an example of this phylum. The body composed of aseptic hyphae. Rhizopus species have stolon, which is horizontal vegetative hyphae. Rhizopus species have rhizode, which is hyphae structured like root. And Rhizopus species have sporangia spore, which is the upright hyphae that bear sporangia. Penicillium species is known as ascomycete or sap fungi. Yeast is unicellular ascomycete. Most are composed of septate hyphae. Ascus, finger-like sac, develops during sexual reproduction. Asci, usually surrounded and protected by hyphae within an ascocarp. Asexual reproduction involves the production of spores called conidia. Agaricus species, known as Basidiomycete. It have septate hyphae. The fruiting bodies are called basidiocarps. Basidiocarps contain basidia that produce basidiospore by sexual reproduction. This slide shows the picture of Agaricus species. This slide as well. We can conclude the classification of fungi using this table. For phylum Zygomycota, it have aseptic hyphae. The sexual reproduction is via formation of zygospores, and the asexual reproduction is via sporangia that produce spore. For phylum Ascomycota, it have septate hyphae. The sexual reproduction is via formation of ascospores within ascus. The asexual reproduction is via conidia. And last, for phylum Basidiomycota, it have septate hyphae. The sexual reproduction is via formation of basidiospores outside of basidia. But for the asexual reproduction, this phylum is uncommon and rarely occur. Lastly, we discuss about the importance of fungi. First, fungi can act as decomposer. Most fungi are saprophytic. Saprophytic fungi will decompose by secrete enzyme for extracellular digestion and absorb nutrients from organic waste and dead organisms. Fungi able to degrade cellulose and lignin of plant cell wall. Symbiont. Fungi form symbiotic relationship with plants, algae, cyanobacteria, and animals. All these relationships have profound ecological effects. Lichens, for example, are a symbiotic association between green algae or cyanobacteria and fungi. Mycorrhizae are mutualistic association of plant roots and fungi. Lichen is a symbiotic association between unicellular green algae or cyanobacteria and fungi. Grow on the surface of rocks, rotting logs, trees, and roofs. The algae or cyanobacteria provide carbon compound. The cyanobacteria also fix nitrogen and provide organic nitrogen compounds. The fungi provide their photosynthetic partners with a suitable environment for growth. Mycorrhizae are mutualistic association of plant roots and fungi. Mutualistic fungi also absorb nutrients from a host organism but reciprocate with action that benefit the host. Fungi improve delivery of phosphate ions and other minerals to plants from the soil. Plant roots provide organic nutrients such as carbohydrates to fungus. Pathogens. Parasitic fungi absorb nutrients from the cell of living hosts and are responsible for many serious plant diseases. Certain animal disease, such as candidiasis, is a yeast infection of mucous membranes at the mouth, throat, or vagina. Histoplasmosis is serious infection of the lungs that caused by inhaling spores of fungi that common in soil contaminated with bird feces. Commercial importance in food production. Saccharomyces cerevisiae or yeast is used in making bread and alcoholic beverages. Yeast is used to produce ethanol and carbon dioxide from sugar through fermentation. In baking, carbon dioxide given off by yeast is an agent that causes bread to rise. Yeast are used to make wine, beer, and other fermented beverages. And it involved in the production of tempeh and tapai. Pharmaceutical. Penicillium notatum or penicillin is used to make antibiotics that inhibit the growth of bacteria.